All right, this is Volume. Feedback, Sirius 106. Nick Carter and Lori Majewski.
Hi.
Monsters Rejoice. Lady Gaga is in the
Thank
building.
you so much. Thank you. How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
I'm good. Are you well? Your families, both of you? Your life
blessed.
is good?
Thank gosh.
Good.
Thank you.
I have to tell you, I, of course, listen to Perfect
Illusion.
I mean, like 5 times in a row, and I rediscovered why I love you so much, because I love songwriting, and you actually write crafted, structured songs.
Thank you very much.
Whereas a lot of artists just sort of write riffs and beats and tracks. Do you have a process as a songwriter?
Well, yeah, of course I do. I mean, with this song in particular, I co-wrote it with Kevin Parker from Tame Impala and Mark Ronson and Blood Pop. Also, Josh Homme played guitar from Queens of the Stone Age on the record. So there was a lot that went into this. But what I always like to do is break it down to like the sheet music, basically, at the very beginning. And you just start at the piano with a guitar and a bass, and that's what we did. Actually, Kevin came in with this idea for a song called Illusion, and he had some ideas for it, and we sat down and we started to break it apart and create the story and create a melody that really spoke to me, and then, you know, start to restructure the chorus, move things around. So the process is sort of like that. We begin with just the bare bones skeleton of the melody and the music, and then we start to build the production.
Are you better in pain or celebration mode?
Oh, gosh. You know, I really hate to say it, but I'm better in pain. I hate to say it. It's awful.
Why? It's cathartic. It's good. It gets it
Yeah,
out.
because it hurts.
Well, I've heard that this is an autobiographical record for you.
Yeah.
So is there a lot of pain in the record? Like, you've had quite a year. It's been an amazing year for you.
There is a lot of pain in the record. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily thematically painful the whole way through, because it's quite a fun album as well. The pain is in my voice.
Wow, how is that different? I mean, coming off of that Oscar song, which is such an emotional song for you.
I don't know how to explain it, you know, but I like don't want to cry on air because it's so embarrassing. But I just remember that my mom, when she first heard a couple of the songs on the album, she just looked at me and she just was crying. And I said, "What's wrong?" And she just said, "Nothing. It's so good. And I don't want you to take this the wrong way, because it's not a bad thing. But like, your voice just sounds different." And I said, "What's different?" And she just said, "I can just hear that, you know, you're in some pain, emotional pain."
Yeah, first time I heard Perfect Illusion, I was like, not only are you connected, like your voice has never been that raw, really. Well, quick question. You brought up Mr. Ronson and Blood Pop. For somebody like you, who obviously you're a musician, you're a songwriter, you know your way around the studio, what role does a producer serve for you?
Oh, Mark is like my brother. I mean, he's like my best friend.
I have such a crush on him. You have no idea. He's so handsome.
I think everyone has a crush on Mark. He's like my brother, though, and he's one of my best friends, and he just, you know, spent a lot of time with me while I was in pain, you know, and trying to help me navigate how to write about that and to express it, and do it in a way also that spoke to who I want to speak to on this album. And he asked me a lot, you know, what do you have to write about? Not just what are you going to, but what do you need to say? And, you know, who is this album for? And I kept envisioning this woman in a field somewhere in Middle America at one of my shows. I'm singing, doing a concert, and she's got no makeup on, her hair back in like a messy bun, you know, a Kmart sweatshirt with some rolled up jeans, heirloom jewelry like from her family, you know, cheap, inexpensive, a kid in one hand, a Pinot Grigio in the other, 2 other kids running around, you know, no boyfriend, no husband, and just crying her eyes out, singing every word, going, I can't believe that Lady Gaga understands me. I never thought she could understand me. I thought that we were nothing alike. I didn't even think someone who lived, you know, was in the public eye could ever feel like I feel. And then after I finished writing the album with Mark and all the guys, I realized it was actually a few weeks ago. I just started crying and I said, "Oh my God, that girl is me."
Yeah, that's, I mean,
That girl
Wow.
is who I would have been if my career had never happened.
Yeah, your fans have such a visceral, the Monsters have such a visceral love for you because you really made it okay to be different. And you know that. And beyond the quote unquote persona, you could, beyond the persona,
Yeah.
they obviously see something in you, that same vulnerability. Has it always been that way from like day one?
I mean, like, I think my core fans, the ones who've been around a long time, have always known the deep vulnerability inside of me, and that's just something that maybe the general public didn't know. But I'm not necessarily, like, I didn't abandon myself on this record and to just become like the real me or whatever the hell that means. That's not what this is about. This is about bringing the woman I am from my past into the future and embracing the new woman that I'm becoming, and also really focusing on being a role model for women in the way that I want to be, which is that I want women and men who make music to know that you don't just have to like find a hot track and find a hot top line and get it on the radio to make it. You can spend time in your room with an instrument and just play over and over again and practice and write and write and write and then play out and perform out and build a fan base on your own and be discovered. I mean, that's how I made it.
I love to hear you talk like this because one of the things I heard about the record is that there's a lot of earthiness to it. Somebody mentioned Fleetwood Mac to me, and I was thinking, if ever someone could write a Landslide, it would be you. You are one of these really deep, songwriters. Like, what kind of music did you listen to going into this? Like, were there songs? Was it like those kinds of classic rock kind of songs?
That music's so deeply ingrained in me for such a long time that I didn't have to listen to anything going into making this record. I tried to actually keep my palette really clean and focus just on writing classic melodies and words with Mark. I will say that there's one song on the album that I'm most proud of, and it's the title track of the record, so I can't tell you what it is, but it's a song that is just so close to my family and the heritage of my family. And what I realized after my career took off was that what I needed more than anything in order to find who I was again was to return to my home and to remember that, who I really am at the end of the day is my father's daughter and my mother's daughter and my sister's sister and my friend's friend, and my career and what I do is not any more important than what all of the other people in my life do, and I want to be there for them. And so I made an album, about our lives, and it's an album about my life without fame. I mean, I actually don't know that there isn't really, I don't even think one lyric on the song about fame at all. I think Perfect Illusion's probably the thing that comes closest to maybe touching on, maybe there being a perfect illusion of me that the public sees that I'm not really and truly, and that's what I'm sort of shouting against as one interpretation of the song, of course. But no, I don't write about fame anymore because or not on this record, because it's like something I had to erase from my body.
Well, going with that, I'm just looking at you and the way you look so beautiful. You're so glowing. You look so young, and you look different. To me, the last bunch of albums that you've put out, we've had meat dresses and we've had a lot of art stuff. I wonder if this is back to basics for you, where maybe the image isn't as important as the music. Are you trying to subdue that side of you so the music will come through all the more clearly?
I mean, what I will say is this, I definitely always wanted to wear all the things that I wore, and I was never hiding anything. I mean, I, in fact, was expressing exactly how I was feeling always. I mean, and I'm very rebellious, so I always make sure I get what I want in terms of that. But, do I want people to talk about my music and not my clothes now? Yeah.
Cool.
For sure. because I worked really hard for, since I was 4 years old, I've been playing music, and like I said, I want young girls and boys to feel like they can make it without anything at all. And I want to really just focus on my discipline. I've been spending a lot of time just practicing piano, practicing guitar, practicing singing. The songs that Mark and I wrote are really hard. They're not easy to sing. A lot of the Perfect Illusion has this, this rock undertone throughout it, and that key change at the end. These are massive high, like rock and roll notes. And I was so excited that he wanted to do that, because it's what I really wanted to do. And it's just about pushing yourself, and I've changed a little bit, but I think the point is I changed from every album. So who knows? Maybe I'll have on like an egg the next record. Oh no, I did that already.
There was a Daily Beast article. Did you see this? It was like, Lady Gaga's Perfect Illusion key change will give you life. And it was like all these like tweets and vines of people like hearing it and going, oh my God, it's a key change. I'm like, yes, she wrote a song. Like I say, she writes songs.
We spent a lot of time. And also just from a collaboration perspective, I didn't collaborate with Kevin Parker and Mark Ronson over email, they were in the studio with me every single day, all night long. For every collaboration on the album was like that. There was not like a one day that we recorded vocals or we sent the track over and someone sent it back. This is like, you're showing up, you're staying for a week or more. Kevin Parker flew, I think, twice or 3 times back from Australia.
Wow.
To work on one song.
In LA, right?
In Los Angeles and in New York, he flew. Yeah. And we went to Chipotle. That was fun.
It's funny. She was just talking about image. I remember I interviewed Joan Jett a couple of years ago, and she was saying how, she rules. And she was saying how she keeps things private because the artists that she loved always had mystery. And there's not much, in the social media era, there's not much mystery left. And I was looking at something I remember you said in 2010 in Rolling Stone, and you were saying, God forbid if I ever get hurt on stage, if your fans were around the hospital, you would come out as Gaga, and then you banged up your hip, and you kind of did that. You came out done up in the gold wheelchair and everything. And you said, I don't want people to see I'm a human being. I don't even drink water on stage in front of anybody because I want them to focus on the fantasy of the music and be transported from where they are to somewhere else. People can't do that. If you're just on earth, we need to go to heaven. How can that level of commitment not take a toll on you?
It does. It does, and it did. It does, and it did. And what also and also it's not like I don't regret it either. That's exactly what I wanted to say and do. And during my live shows in the future, I hope to still convey that feeling at certain points. I love that about music, where you just watch and experience an artist and you're just like, that's impossible. That just seems not possible. It's wow. You're transported. But also, fame is so alienating, and it's toxic for the creative process for me, because I need human connection in order to write music. And if I go to a bar or to the grocery store or wherever and I try to talk to somebody and the whole time they're screaming or trying to take a picture, I can't get to know them. I can't ask them a question. I can't learn about their life or share something about mine. I don't get asked very often, really super deep things about myself, and that is hard, and it's scary.
Yeah,
really scary, because you just feel like, will I ever again talk to somebody and have them see me as a person? And so what I was saying to you before about that girl that I was singing to and realizing, that person was me, is that making an album where I was able to just focus on being my father's daughter, like I said, being a member of my family, being my friends' friends, what I was able to do was put myself back in that place where I am just a human being. And I realized that all that emotional pain that's in my voice now, all that trauma from my life, all the loss. And I mean, one of my best friends has stage 4 cancer, there's been loss in my family. Those are the things that connect me to people. It's actually not these images or social media or my fame at all. The thing that really makes me connected to my fans and to the world is what I've been through as a human. So I had to put that in this record.
Well, it sounds to me like, though only Lady Gaga could do it, we're meeting Stephanie Germanotta on this record. And I'm so excited to hear it and how brave of you. And it's going to help a lot of people. It is amazing to talk to you today.
Thank you so much.
And
Seriously.
we're in a heavy, stressful, xenophobic time. And it's nice to have you back because I think you put positivity and love into the universe.
Thank you. That's so nice to say. Thank you.
We can't thank you enough, but we can thank you in French.
Pop music needs you.
It's
We
really
need
sweet.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
well,
you.
I'm here.